Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach, and today I'm talking about how to talk to someone that you're attracted to. So, one of the biggest issues that a lot of people can have when they are attracted to someone is because they're so attracted to them, it takes them time to pluck up the courage to say something, to talk to them, to get to know them. And because it takes time, and there's like this distance from that first feeling of attraction to actually asking them out or saying something, because there's such a long time, because it takes so long for some people to, or a lot of people to pluck up the courage to start talking to that person. Between that time, during that time period, that person so you, for example, you get more and more attracted to that person and you start to fall for them because your emotions are engaged. And the longer your emotions are engaged and the longer you wait, the longer you stall before saying something, before asking them out, before showing what your intent is, your romantic intent, the harder it is going to be for that person, the harder it's going to be for you. So, in my personal opinion, the best way to talk to someone that you're attracted to is to find out first if they're attracted to you, okay? And find out that as fast as possible, okay? Because the reason why you got to find out as fast as possible is because for what I've already stressed, which is you don't want to waste your time. Because if this person doesn't happen to be attracted to you too, and it's taken you ages to pluck up the courage to even speak to them, and during that time you've been ruminating about them, you've been fantasizing about them, you've been thinking about them a lot, just a lot of rumination, your feelings have got deeper and deeper and deeper. So the best time to talk to someone that you're attracted to is when you first feel that feeling of attraction. The first appropriate amount of time, the fastest appropriate moment is when you should talk to that person, okay? Now, you don't have to say anything complicated. You don't have to come up with any fun lines, or you have to say something, magical. You don't have to do any of that, okay? Because attraction bypasses language. So it doesn't matter what you say. If that person is attracted to you too, it kind of doesn't matter what you say to them, okay? But with that being said, the thing that we do need to do though is you need to show what your intent is as fast as possible. And if you're romantically attracted to them, then the best thing for you to do, as soon as you feel that, as soon as the appropriate moment comes where you can talk to them, is to ask them out, and they'll know what that means, okay? If you're a guy watching this, a woman will know that you're asking her out. It's not going to be subtle to her. And it's the same with guys. Men can tell when a woman is attracted to them, and women can tell when a man is attracted to them, okay? So you only need to say something really simple like, hey, I'd really love to get to know you better. When are you free? I'd really love to get to know you better. When are you free? That's all you have to say. In that sentence, you are showing them what your intent is, that you want to spend time alone with them, that you want to see them outside of school or work. You're letting them know that you are interested. They will know what that means. And this helps you find out if they're attracted to you fast. And that, remember, this is the most important thing, because you don't want that long rumination period, which is going to get you stuck. And I know it's the hardest thing to do because a lot of people are afraid of rejection, and it is tough to be rejected, especially if you find someone really attractive. But at least then you know, and you haven't spent weeks or months building up to that and your feelings getting stronger and stronger and stronger, because trust me, it's going to hurt way much more down the line when you've waited for the perfect moment, okay? Rather than just expressing how you're feeling about them by asking them out. You don't have to elaborate. You don't have to say anything more than, when are you free? I'd love to get to know you better. When are you free? So I'm trying to save your heart here, because it might be the case that they do reject you. Or also it might not be. If they're attracted to you too, and if they find you appealing too, and if they're single, then they will tell you when they're available. They'll tell you when you're free, when you ask them. But also they might reject you. But at least you've done it as fast as possible, as fast as humanly possible. Okay? So you haven't had that long time to build up the courage. Okay, and you hadn't had that time to sort of like be thinking about them, to stare longingly at them and all this kind of stuff that can often get people trapped. Now, this is something that used to happen to me so much when I was a teenager. I would get a crush on a girl and I would be like, okay, well, I got to be a friend first. I got to do this. I've got to make sure that I'm, that I always give her a hug. I've got to make sure that I'm always around her. I've got to make sure that, we're really, really close. And then I'll let her know how I feel about her. And then the way that I let her know how I feel about her would be I write a long ass message on Facebook or something, confessing my love, or writing a letter or something like that. And that's how I would go about things. Whereas if I was just like, okay, I'm attracted to that girl, I'm just going to ask her when she's free to hang out. Okay, because that's a much easier process, believe me, to begin with. That's a much easier process for you, because the longer you try and be a friend or try and be their friend, the longer you're trying to just worm your way in, the more the bigger the heartbreak is going to be if later on down the road they do reject you. So save yourself time, save yourself heartache by just finding out as fast as possible if they're attracted to you. Because if you know that they're attracted to you too, then great, the dating process can start even faster. And if they're not attracted to you and they don't really want to see you, they don't really want to hang out with you, they don't really feel the same way, then they'll let you know. And you can just then move on with your life, and it's going to be less painful, okay? It's less painful to get rejected as soon as possible than it is later down the road when you've built up your feelings and emotions towards that person. And when you first start getting attracted to them, your feelings might already be pretty big. So just imagine how much more you're going to be feeling about them in a few weeks' time when you pluck up the courage finally. It saves a lot of stress. It saves a lot of heartbreak and a lot of everything, okay? Because if they like you, then you get to date them sooner as well. So it's a win-win, okay? It's a win-win. If they like you, that's great because you get to date them faster. You get to make this thing happen quicker. You get to have more romance with them faster. And if they reject you, then it's a win-win, because that's also a win, because you haven't had that. It's not like you're asking them out like a year later or a few weeks later or a few months later when your feelings have got bigger for them. So it's not going to sting as much. Yes, being rejected always stings to some degree, okay, but it's way worse later on down the road. Trust me, okay. It's much harder to get over as well if you've had more time to put your emotional bank account, if you call it like that. So the longer you sort of ruminate over someone, the longer you're in love with someone without telling them, the longer you're sort of waiting for the right moment and you're being their friend, the bigger your emotional bank account in them is getting, okay? So when they reject you, it's going to hurt so much more. Whereas if you ask them out when your emotional bank account is really small and maybe there's only just attraction in there and there's not been much time, there's not been much time for you to ruminate and fantasize as well, then it's not going to hurt as badly, okay? So it's not about what you say, it's about getting to, as Robert Glover, I think it's Robert Glover, he wrote No More Mr. Nice Guy and Dating Essentials for Men, okay? And he says in that book, Dating Essentials for Men, he says, get to rejection quickly. Okay, so if someone is going to reject you, it's better if it happens faster. It's better if it happens sooner rather than later. Okay, so get to rejection quickly. And the best way that you can do that is when you feel that attraction, all you have to do is approach them and say, I'd really love to get to know you better. When are you free? Okay? And, if you want to start up that conversation with a little icebreaker, like say you go to school or work together, and then just be like, hey, how are you? And talk about work for a moment, or talk about school for a moment. just anything that's going on in your environment, whatever it may be. And then you say, well, I'd love to get to know you better. When are you free? You know? And that's all you have to say. That's how you talk to someone that you're attracted to. Okay? And when you go out on a date with someone that you're attracted to, all you have to do is ask them questions about their life. You know, because if you're attracted to them, then surely on some level, you must be fascinated with them in some way. So if you are fascinated with them, then ask them questions about their life. Get to know them. That's very basic stuff. The things that you want to know. So maybe you want to know about their childhood. So what was your favorite childhood holiday? Tell me the relationship you have with your best friend. How did you meet your best friend? What kind of stuff do you do together? You know, ask them the questions that you'd really love to know about them on the date. On the date. Don't ask them before, ask them on the date. Okay? So, that's how you talk to someone you're attracted to. You don't have to say anything fancy. You don't have to come up with any clever lines or anything like that. You find out as fast as you can if they're attracted to you too by asking them out. You don't go up to them and say, are you attracted to me? You don't go up to them and say, I really, really like you. Do you like me back? You don't say anything like that. A lot of that stuff is really extremely childish. It's better to just show your intent by saying, I'd love to get to know you better. When are you free? Okay, that's all you have to say. Okay, because they know what that means. They know that you're asking them out. You don't have to elaborate. You don't have to say, I have strong feelings for you. Oh, you're the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life. You don't have to elaborate at all. You just ask them out. Okay? So if they say yes, then you're like, great. How about we meet at the Turkish restaurant or whatever restaurant, or maybe you want to meet out for a drink first. How about we meet here? How about we meet this at this time and this place? Because then maybe they'll say to you, yeah, okay, this sounds good. I'm free on Saturday. You're like, great. How about we meet here at this time? And then you go out on the date and you just ask them a ton of questions about themselves and have a great time, and just focus on having a great time, having fun. Just be silly, just be goofy. Just focus on having a great time together. Okay? And that's all you have to do. So that's how you talk to someone that you're attracted to. It's very, very simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it, because I think a lot of people do overcomplicate it. Just keep it as simple as possible. If you like them, if you're attracted to them, just don't waste your time and just get to rejection quickly, if that's what's coming, and ask them out. And then you know. So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then you go to www.christineloveridge.com. But I understand that the economy is pretty bad right now, so you may not want to get coaching with me, and you may prefer to coach yourself. So if you want to do that, then I suggest you go and read my book, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. There are great tips in there. If you're a woman watching this video, there are great tips in there for women too, so I highly recommend that you go and watch that. Go and read this as well. There's also tips there on breakups, on how to keep the magic alive in a relationship, and also important dating skills, which are absolutely 100% essential that you should know. Okay, so if you want to coach yourself, you can do this by reading this book completely for free. So all you have to do is go to www.christineloveridge.com. The link is in the description below, and it'll take you straight to that link will take you to the website. So you can either pick coaching with me, or you can go to the menu on the website and click on the book, and it'll take you straight to the book. The only thing that is also on the page is a link to Amazon if you want to get the physical copy, which has a nice discreet spine if you don't really want to be advertising on your bookshelf that you have a dating book. And also there's the Kindle version too. Okay, but it's not necessary, because everything on the Amazon website is exactly what's on the book. So everything in the physical copy, everything in the Kindle version is what's on the website. Okay, so it's not like you're getting any new information by buying the book, but it's just another way you can support me if you would like to. And if you do happen to purchase the book in a way of supporting me, then I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a nice comment about something that you liked about the book, or maybe you want to talk about me as a coach in general. It's a great way that you can support me publicly, and I would greatly appreciate it if you did that. But it's not, like I said, it's not necessary, because what's in the book is also on the website. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.